Hello YouTube! And welcome back to the Cyber Cafe! Today we're going to be watching The Cost of Concordia by the Internet Historian. I think this video is about a boat. As far as I've seen, it's about a ship, right? I think it's about a ship. I don't know a lot of stuff about ships. I think ships are pretty cool. They're like big ships. They're big ships. I like big ships. But yeah, I have no idea what the Concordia is. So hopefully the Internet Historian will tell us about that. Anyways, let's go. The following is not an endorsement, yada yada yada.
The Cost of Concordia. Ship of dreams.
Ship of dreams.
It's been 8 years. I can still smell the buffets
8
from their
years?
5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater had hardly been used.
Have any of you ever been on a ship like that, like on a cruise? I would like to do that at some point, like go on a cruise. I think it's a cool experience.
The gym, the day spa, the sheets in 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Cost of Concordia cost $570 million.
570 million?
And you could tell. You could really tell.
Wait, is this the fucking Titanic music? It's the Titanic music.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey.
But like the cruises you went on, was it like actual proper cruises? The only thing I've seen recently from the cruises is those cruises where people are turning it into a shit fest. But I really want to go on a cruise at some point just to have the experience.
But that ship, she was cursed.
It was cursed?
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side
No!
instead of smashing.
Oh no!
A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing
It's
could
going
go wrong
under the
on
ladder.
Friday the 13th
Friday!
of January,
Oh.
2012.
Friday the 13th.
On the
and it
100th year anniversary of
didn't
the Titanic.
smash.
On a ship that's
Oh,
also
God.
only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding.
Oh god.
Especially not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Scatino. A man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
Oh.
He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily.
Bro.
And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision.
Bro.
I've got a good feeling about this.
Oh no.
So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the Magician is setting up for his
Martin
show.
the Magician.
And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail-by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition.
Car.
Scatino, the captain, comes into
I really like the Internet Historian's voice. I don't know what it is about it. And I wonder, I don't think he talks like this in real life, but like his accent and the way of speaking and his voice, it's really nice.
the dining hall with the lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later.
Okay.
Scatino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge.
They're heading
It's
to the
time
bridge.
for that sail-by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it.
Eyeball it.
Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do.
Oh god.
Scatino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin.
Why don't I have
First
a picture for
interesting
him?
tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a
Wait,
cleaner.
are they using a Sims face? That's The Sims, isn't it? Isn't that The Sims 4? I'm pretty sure that's The Sims 4.
It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited.
Yeah,
At
that's
least
The Sims 4.
We think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all.
Off to a good start. The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in.
Oh god.
This is not his first sail by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots.
Oh no!
Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem.
You can see the ship.
Language barrier.
But you can see the ship on Google Maps? That is pretty cool.
Because at this point, the captain says 325.
325?
The helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem. Complacency about procedure.
Oh god.
The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left
Sims
wing.
heads, bro.
That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn.
Oh no!
Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance.
Oh no!
The Cost of Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct
And the
collision.
rocks were actually underwater.
Oh, shit!
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock.
Oh god.
And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340.
No!
The captain snaps back, 350
Oh,
starboard, or we end
no!
up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock.
Oh.
Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe.
Oh no,
But then,
oh no.
One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment.
Oh
The
no!
helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing.
Oh!
8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure.
Simulations show that if this hadn't happened, the ship would have missed the rocks by up to 10 meters or at least only fluted one compartment. Oh dear!
Hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, we're gonna hit!
No!
Collision.
Oh no! Collision. Okay, but why was this guy still the captain if he already had multiple collisions? Who thought that was a good idea? Who was he paying? Whose dick was he sucking? The fire spaghetti. Not the coffee. At him?
Downtown.
Oh, it's ads.
Nordtown.
Okay. NordVPN. Are we gonna see NordVPN guy again?
Playing Russian roulette.
He was good at one
Seems
part. He was good at sucking dicks, apparently. Otherwise, he wouldn't have his job anymore.
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I got to find him. It's breaking my little
This video
heart.
is not
I'll see
available
what
in
I
your
can
country.
do. I have contacts in thousands of servers in dozens of countries across the globe. And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a calling card. Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data. But who can protect me from myself? When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie. Forensics found his password spread all the way down the block. In a perfect world,
Why is
we'd
he?
all use
Not the
NordVPN.
not the laptop.
But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Not really that big of a deal.
off.
Even if it happens
I took the
multiple
steering wheel out
times.
too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be. That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead.
Your husband's dead, not the
Merry
husband.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
I'm sorry, dude. I use a different VPN. Thank you for the lyric.
Add over.
Add over.
The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull.
53
and
meters!
Thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm, there's panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified.
Oh no,
There's
imagine
confusion across.
Imagine being trapped in a box when this ship is sinking. Oh my god.
The ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots.
Oh god.
And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding.
29 seconds!
22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics, water pumps too. Everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is
Imagine finding out that someone half-trick uses 2 people by having your ship capsized. Oh, that is really, really funny. Oh my god, yeah.
the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Cost of Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness.
Oh no!
A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly.
Oh no!
Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics.
Oh, that's the
These
worst
main
part to
generators
flood.
give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking
Oh god!
cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on.
Yo! Emergency
When
batteries!
the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge panic in the theatre, as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The captain calls
It's
Pilon,
jammed?
the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side.
Oh,
there's
no.
water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes!
Yes, a lot of
There's
water.
You can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment, we'll start the pumps. I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic.
Oh, no.
On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout.
Oh, no.
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation, and we'll inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On. It's very much not helping the situation.
No.
The captain calls the Cost of Crisis unit. Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine. Hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
A panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise, and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced.
No.
Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point
no,
that
the ship is
going
sinking.
down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't
What do you mean 2? It's 3! It's 3 and it's sinking! The ship is actively sinking! What do you mean?
in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. "How long has this blackout been going on?" "About 20 minutes. "Have you asked passengers to put on life vests?" "It's just a blackout. I gotta go." The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions like, "Is it still flooded?"
Yes, of course it is.
Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation. The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, "The ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing." He qualifies with, "No one dead or injured." The harbour master asks if he needs help. "Just a tugboat?" When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad and they are not going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the scene. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, "Everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or
You
hang
should make
about
them
in the lounges, no
evacuate!
problem."
What are you doing?
She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point
Yo, that was a
aren't listening
Karen
to
and a
us.
half. Wait.
It was wrong and that it further endangered lives.
Yo, she's definitely going to complain to the manager after all this. And you know what? For once, she would be correct about that. She would be in the right.
Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story, and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Live radio fleet.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats.
I think they're all gonna complain to the manager after this. I hope so. I would.
Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators.
Vivzipop? Does Vivzipop have a Karen haircut?
Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving." So
Yeah,
what do
we're
do?
leaving.
General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The situation is under control.
What do you mean it's under control? It's the opposite of control.
They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore.
Oh, no!
The ship forcefully runs aground,
No!
creating an uneven center of gravity. And it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out.
That is way too late!
Comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying. Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio,
Why is everything going wrong here? Every single thing that can go wrong is going wrong here. What's going on?
Pellegrini and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers. Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him. The maitre d' and Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Mille reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation.
Wait, so they just left the ship?
Leaves
Isn't the captain supposed to go down with the ship, but bro just leaves?
to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor. Yes.
You're not allowed to make a film movie.
I'm allowed.
Who say you are?
Why is this Karen trying to stop them from filming? Bro, you're not supposed to be off this ship. You're one of the crew. Why are you off this ship telling people to not... hell no.
A faster model sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learnt that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore.
Nah.
DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck
back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes
Oh my
it
god.
short. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara. And among them,
He slipped into a lifeboat. Yeah, he slipped into a lifeboat like that one guy slipped onto a shampoo bottle and got it stuck in his rectum.
is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing. A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes.
Oh my god.
Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life.
Yeah, deserved.
Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks.
Fresh socks.
But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the
We
ship.
were the last to leave.
All day Saturday, rescuers
liar!
searched for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin.
How do you sleep through that? Can these people teach me how to sleep? Being able to sleep through that? Teach me, please.
The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin service director. In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until
32
nearly
people
3
died?
years later.
3
A crew
years?
member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship.
Oh, that's very sad.
The Cost of Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster
32
since the
people.
Titanic.
That's a lot.
And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
They never took it out? Thank you for the hydrate. Man. That looks like the scene of a horror game.
But this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point.
Halfway
What
point?
most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward.
I mean, I guess that it didn't totally sink because they were so close to shore. So that ship is way too big to fully sink. But 32 people dead, bro. He crashed the same ship twice before this. But they were like minor crashes, apparently.
But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to
Spaghetti!
untangle.
I love spaghetti.
Let's dive in.
Don't do that with your hands!
There they
No!
are.
Why are you
The deets.
Why are you doing this? Oh, I'm not Italian, but this makes me angry. Don't grab the spaghetti like that. Looting. I mean, obviously.
Loot box time.
Loot
The
box
Costa
time.
Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Cha-ching,
This
cha-ching.
iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of
Sloppy
gamers
toppy,
prepared
yeah.
to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone. Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists.
Hey, I would like to have those. I would hang them on my wall, bro.
as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving.
4 to 6 months in jail? I feel like that's kind of extreme, bro. Then just like if they were only fined $200 or 200 euros, then just fine them more and don't put them in jail.
And pension. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect.
Buyer to collect.
And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Hey, lame. Party pooper. The relationship?
I know you want to see Scatino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Dominika.
Oh, there she is.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Oh!
Intense media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Getting these pictures put into the paper. At least use a good picture. At least I would never do something so bad that it would end me up in the papers because I am too scared that they will use the most ugly or unfortunate picture of me and everyone. I will be posted to Twitter on those mugshot Twitter accounts, you know, where people are going like, oh, she's like one of the ugly ones, you know, where they like judge you for your appearance. You don't get seen as one of the hots like mugshots. You're gonna get seen as one of the mugshots where it's like, yeah, she looks crazy, you know, like no, we're not gonna risk that. We're not gonna risk that. We're not gonna risk that.
Some people
imagine they use your model. That would be funny as shit.
would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Morton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino.
I give you 1 week to tell the truth about what happened immediately after you did the announcement to abandon ship. 1 week. Oh no! Yo, this would be like a Twitter, like a Google Doc, like Google Ducky.
Saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean.
No.
But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Sir Morton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter.
She didn't even light the cigarette.
Wild card.
Yo, that cigarette it's not lit. Why you coughing? It's not lit. There's no smoke. Why are you coughing? It's not lit. There's no smoke. Why are you coughing?
In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
Drugs?
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother and less dry.
It's always
the Concordia
cocaine.
was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Sir Morton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here?
Oh, right, sex with the captain.
Sex with the captain.
Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin, where they found Miss Sir Morton's lingerie and other articles of clothing, as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Sir Morton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony.
Oh,
the judge
no.
pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop. A sentimental relationship.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Drama Alert Nation?
No, not Drama Alert.
I'm his wife with Seymour Tan. Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover.
Oh my god.
Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I died, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain.
My psychological brain?
And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being
You
arrested
can see this was all like 2017 because of the makeup she was wearing in one of those clips. Like, it is this picture here, like the basically no eye makeup and then the dark lips and stuff, and the black clothes with the bleach blonde hair. Like, that is very, very, very 2017.
And radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
She's complaining there aren't enough bins in the area. The police are telling her to calm down and point out that there are bins right there. The crowd standing around is telling police she's allowed to protest here and generally white knighting. That's kind of extreme.
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada, and interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia. Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god, not again.
Oh no. Oh god, not again. Lawsuits, let's go.
Several
the
civil
juicy
suits
stuff.
were quickly lodged against Cost of Concordia, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
23?
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was
claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the
leave him
route.
alone. English is not his main language. Give him a break.
But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Cost of Concordia offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
Hey, I mean, those 11,000s are pretty good if you didn't really lose much of worth of your stuff and didn't have a loved one die. However, if you did have a loved one die or had a lot of shit, like, get lost in this, then it's not that good of a deal.
Kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
and that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers,
maybe you can't ask for more than this.
We're not too happy with this deal.
But this is like European mentality. I know I'm European, but like, I can't ask them more than this. Like that's European mentality, bro. Like be more like the Americans. Sue them. Get your money. Sue them. Like that's something we can learn from the Americans. And suing people.
And they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult for what these poor passengers
went
through.
Yes, it is an insult.
We think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Here, take it.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial.
€1 million fine?
Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing.
Oh my God.
They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
The offer is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't that impacted, right? Like maybe because there was a lot of stuff going on with people around them and stuff like that. But I feel like they weren't really, like they weren't the ones on the ship.
Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of $11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
It's not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases,
30,000?
especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Undisclosed. If it was undisclosed, it was a lot. Ooh, explosion. Scams! Okay.
New York attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case
is that
cropped up
Asmongold playing World of Warcraft?
An elderly woman, Alona, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd. But Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch!
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they?
They are cheating the old
further
Petey.
about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
"Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details."
"I'm up all night. I'm going crazy," he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, "How much money do you think this is worth?"
Obvious scam!
This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Ahoy hoy. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And
so the child isn't missing. It was a scam.
Claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before.
It can happen to the best person.
Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him.
Oh
he
my
speaks
God.
to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. "Yeah, I saw her today." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings." Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. "It's a miracle." And the story changed again. "Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries." Petey,
my
I'm
God.
beginning to think they weren't even on the boat.
These people are
Also,
stupid.
turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, "Hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money." And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
Oh my God. Hey, it's never a crime the first time. Alright, just like it's never a war crime the first time. It's never a crime the first time.
Firm that never sleeps, call 1-800-664-7.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, that's a very bad idea.
Vada bordo.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Papi a pussy.
Means get back on board for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to Vada a bordo caso, became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Schettino to go down with the ship.
Oh my god, no space!
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast.
Oh my god!
When the captain first reported just a blackout,
Why did he
De
even
Falco
pick
didn't
up?
believe
You get blasted, you hang up, you get called on your phone call, why do you pick up?
the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week,
that's great.
setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Oh, there's Nils.
Hear what I said? You've been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career.
Oh my
De Falco
god.
was tres furioso.
Yeah.
And there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss.
Oh my god.
His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said buenas noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician.
A politician?
In March that year, he was elected to the
Why does every single job lead back to being a politician?
Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
I mean, he would make a good politician, I think. Showtime!
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli.
Napoli.
By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area.
That looks like
While under house arrest, he wrote
Italy.
a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on.
He does look very Italian. Is that bad to say? Is that a bad thing to say? I feel like he looks very Italian. When you have this image of the stereotypical Italian guy, especially in movies and stuff, they always look like this. Am I wrong?
Because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Again.
Hold on, I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well.
No!
So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Oh my god!
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvio were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
Good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own.
He got done dirty.
Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
Oh god!
That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn. And he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country.
Oh
it
my
took
God.
authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta.
Yeah, I mean,
and when
fair.
they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped it again.
Oh
and
my
he hasn't
God.
been found since.
Holy.
After that, Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty!
Yeah, very guilty.
Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities.
Oh.
He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
Only 16 years? Multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, lying to only 16 years? European laws, bro.
But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial
no.
begins. And the verdict on the appeal?
Guilty?
Surprise! Rejected.
Yeah.
So Schettino's lawyers appealed again.
Oh.
And the verdict
Give
on the
up!
final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence.
Oh my God.
And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
But for how long?
Said I will not be making any comment.
Those 16 years and 1 month? That's basically nothing. He killed 32 people. Lena shipped it?
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion.
Jesus.
Beginning in early
holy.
2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks.
Yeah, you
At
gotta
the same
get rid of
time,
that.
They had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more. The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin.
Man,
That
such
same
a
weekend
waste.
of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
Oh my God. He only got 16 years. Half the time
Anyway,
for the lives he was responsible
so
for.
these are the things.
Yeah, so technically, if I would commit manslaughter right now, would I only get like 6 months? I don't know, man. 16 years doesn't feel like enough for causing the death of 32 people, man. I don't know.
Things that I remember from the Cost of Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella.
Ah, he's taking the bell! He's taking the bell! He's taking the bell! He's taking it! He's the thief of the bell!
From whence you came.
Bell, bell! Are you gonna react to the part 2? Like the one he recently uploaded?
6 quick
later,
things.
probably.
1, NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3, if you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4, there are a couple of secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5, no
There's
more
secret
45-minute
channels?
videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them.
Damn.
6, there's a Q&A coming out next week on incognito mode.
Oh,
It's got a ton
the
of detail that we
Q&A.
had to cut for the sake of brevity.
maybe
and
we
will no
will at
doubt
some
feature
point.
a ton of corrections as well. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Internet Historian! Spicy! Spicy!